Hello there, my lovely darlings. If you have asked me a question, I promise you I am doing whatever I can to get back to you. This is just one of my inboxes in one of my accounts on social media. This is Twitter. This is the unknown people. Look, I can't possibly... We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. I can't keep up. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. Hello, hello. Everybody, hello. There's a party in here and I'm not invited. Yes, hello. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. We're still going. I can't find the bottom. I can't find the bottom. Why this is important. There are yield farms, okay? I can't speak to you individually. I can't give friendship advice until we shake hands. Or you place your left hand on my right shoulder and I place my right hand on your left shoulder. Until that happens, we can't confirm friendship. But in the meantime, confirm in the comment section. These are the yield farms. If you haven't participated, app.pulsex.com farms. Why am I showing this? Very important. I have the original HEX chart of friendship, okay? This is super juicy. Yes, we're leaving this on zoomed in mode. This is the HEX price and the chart. This shows the lowest, highest, and weighted average minting price of HEX. So when I see this information, I am now here as your messenger, your guardian angel, and to tell you something, all right? I can infer things you need to know about Pulse, PulseX, and HEX from now on. Let's zoom in so you can see even more. Read this, okay? You can see that even from the weighted average, everyone got annihilated at the start and then it rallied to catch up. Let's zoom in. Do you see this, baby dolls? Actually, you know, we can see this. This is the HEX chart. Yes, it's a bit old, but you see this maroon line? When everybody entered the HEX ICO, otherwise known as the AA, so the adoption amplifier, that was the weighted average price. So the most millions of dollars went in here. That was the average price they got. And boy, does it look trash. This was the lowest. So yes, of the 5,000 people, 4,600 got this price. Maybe like 2 people got it down here. It reminds me exactly of how we launched PulseChain and PulseX. So this was done before by coincidence, okay? This was the highest price. It was people who paid it on the first day or something. So when you look at this, I want you to know that on the surface, it looks like it ain't too great. But firstly, let me tell you something, okay? Because this is a log chart, you see here, from here to here is still a 50x, all right? From 1 cent to 50 cents, it's still 50x. So don't think you missed out on anything. That is 50x. That is the bull market 2021. But I'm going to remove that because I want you to know this. If this type of style repeats for our PulseChain and PulseX and HEX going forward, I want you to understand the people who win were those who did what they were told to do by Ricardo Corazon. So Ricardo told everybody to stake. Stakers are believers. They get the most out of it. And guess what? The people who staked here, they earned huge yield at the start. Can somebody please verify the short-term number? I don't know what it is. Today, it's 9% short-term yield, all right? But if you staked back then, I'm sure it would have been like maybe 20%. And then if you staked through this day, this was big payday. This was actually after I got in. I got in right here. So this is 30%. You get 30% for one day. So back here, I was told Richard Hart was a scammer. This is when I knew nothing. I was trading Bitcoin, had no idea about the crypto industry. I wanted to buy HEX at 1 Satoshi, but I didn't because Reddit told me you can't. Reddit said they could still go below this price. I was actually going to get it. And then I just never looked at it again. I was told that Richard Hart was a scammer. I hated him. I did not know what was going on. And then I realized, okay, you know what? This might be the greatest scam of all time. So I waited and I got in here. Everybody got in the coins of, if you held through big payday, you got plus 30%. So not only did you get the staking of 20% in this year and then like a 19% the next year and then a 30% here, not only did that happen, you got the price increase. So when you really think about it, the real weighted average price for people who followed instructions, Theirs is probably much lower. If I can zoom in, I want to see exactly what that price is, where the weighted average price is. I want to move it to the side. It's about 0.007. So I reckon if you halve it, it's about 0.0035. What I want to do is I want to see where their effective yield price is. And it's actually down here. So I'm going to go down just to show you. Their effective yield price is, I know you can see, it's around down here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let's draw it again. Okay. So it's around down here. You see this price? So now the price looks different. Now we have a scam dump. And then we return to friendship, and then the weak hands get out a bit of a profit. See this part? That's what we were waiting for PulseChain and PulseX to do, to get to that part upwards. So this is what it is, right? Yes, the people who fluke the bottom, they get to kill it. It is what it is, friends. So this is very important to know, because I'm going to repeat to you. The people who made it out alive and got the most were people who did as they were told. They staked. They did not trade. People who staked were looked after. So I am now inferring for PulseChain, for PulseX, there are yield farms. I'm going to bring them up again. There are these yield farms, okay? If you've noticed, Richie Hart himself, he keeps talking about Hart's Law, Hart's Law, Hart's Law, okay? May as well be Fart's Law. Listen to me. Hart's Law is about the liquidity bonding. He keeps talking about it. It's almost like he's saying, hey, if you want to kill it, come yield farm. Come and participate in Hart's Law. Your downside is limited in my ecosystem coins, because if the SPI coin goes up, which is PLS, then it will drag everything through liquidity bonding. And I've already made a lot of videos on that. You can watch them if you like, okay? You should watch them. So I am reading between the lines. He's saying, and by the way, okay, so even if you weren't reading between the lines, look at these APRs. He's daring you not to participate, okay? He's telling you, come participate, all right? These are here for a reason. This is saying, hey, you want yield farming? Come on in. So what I've done is I looked at all the evidence for HEX, got all the numbers down, and I said, okay, who came out alive? People who staked and who did not trade. People who listened to Richie himself. He said, hey, stake and chill. That's it, long-term view. Okay, you killed it. You did the best. What about here? You can't lock your coins up. You can't lock your coins up. So I'm going to assume it's all about Hart's Law. People who stay liquidity bonded, people who stay soaking up the rewards, probably going to make it out alive the most. We might not get you and I's technical 1000x. We might not get it. But with these yields being handed out, if you harvest your rewards every day, right, and you just use them to increase your HEX bag, your Pulse bag, your PulseX bag, I am sure you would be effectively lowering your entry price. Just like here, you know here? This was the weighted average. But if you staked, your weighted average could become here. That's actually what happened. Your weighted average dropped. So your entry price drops. Okay, so perhaps it's the same thing with PulseChain and Pulse, right? So I'm going to unsquint, right? And we're going to go to just quickly this pulse chart. This is the pulse chart, okay? I just want you to have a look with me. And we have the day one sacrifice price, all right? See how it's here? We know what it is. This is Pulse, all right? Day one sacrifice price. We might find that if you are a good boy or a good girl or a good duck, instead of the average price being 0.0001, if you participate in either validating as a staker, right, with Pulse, running a network, having a checkered shirt with a pen in the front pocket, or you participate in the liquidity bonding in any of the programs, you might find that your average price by the end of the 2-year period, so by the time 2025 comes and it's now May, instead of 0.111, we might be like down here. You might be like 0.007. Wouldn't that be fantastic? By the way, this is enormous, okay? This is, let me tell you this. This is the huge, this is how difference it makes, okay? It's 50% difference, right? So this is the difference between, at the very end, when, if you just hold, maybe this person who holds from day one sack, maybe they're up 200x. But because you're earning yield the whole time, even as they go down to normal rates, your effective ROI won't be a little 200x. It will be a giant 300x. It's enormous. This compounding effect makes a world of difference. All because you were listening to what Richard said himself. I would like to tell you, you're probably going to ask me, okay, a lot of people ask me, why doesn't he just tell us this? Why doesn't he just say it? Look, you've never had to run a country. You've probably never had to run human race. You've never had to control a large mass of people. This system of money and games and this simulation and everything that's going around, it only works if no one knows what's coming next. That's the only way it works. It even happens in our normal economy. Did you know that? Did you know that if there was an expectation of people that the government would always bail them out, or the central bank would always bail them out, people would take excessive risk, okay? Just like how if there was no chance of developing cancer from taking certain substances, maybe smoking, people would behave way differently, all right? We'd push the limit straight away. If there was no chance of dying, maybe people would skydive more often. You know what I mean? It's the same thing here. This system only works when people have to measure risk. Because when it comes to, say, crypto, there's a limited amount of capital to come in. So the way Richard works is, and I only know this from watching all the streams, and it's so obvious, the way Richard works is, he's like, hello, do you want to participate? Well, I'm only going to give these yields to the believers. You might say, hey, how are you a believer if you do this? Well, you can't show more belief than if you are in HEX and PHEX liquidity bonding for everyone. That is demonstrating that you are one of the strongest soldiers around. That means you don't care if HEX has a risk of going to zero. You are a baby doll, butterscotch biscuit. That's what you're saying. And he says you deserve this yield. Okay, and this 400, this is absurdly high. It can be even just 50%, 40%. That's still enormous, okay? So I want you to know, people who support the system get rewarded. That's how he operates. I like this. Do you know why? Because me and you, we're outsiders. If you go to other crypto, like Pui and other exchanges, they don't reward me and you. Me and you, we're the exit liquidity. We're not here to bootstrap the community or anything in those community systems. They use the exchanges and the insiders to bootstrap them. And that what they're bootstrapping is shilling to the biggest YouTube influencers and giving them under the table money so they can dump on us. That's what they call growth, okay? Richard Hart does it differently. He just models it off what works in the real world. He follows the Bitcoin model. He follows the Ethereum model. So that is our competitive edge, baby dolls. Maybe that's a righteous path. We have to liquidity farm. Like and subscribe. Bell button and all. Catch you in the next one.